Hello Aquarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We'll be pulling for all three sides of the connection, so we're going to look at your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story, so we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of this connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. On that note, and especially if you're a cross watcher, just know that this whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, then that is totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Aquarius. Oh no, it's not a great start. Let's see what we've got. We're going to start with looking at overall energy through oracle cards first, and then we'll dive deeper into the story, into the reading with tarot as we progress. So let's start, Aquarius, looking at your side of this connection. This is Aquarius' side of the connection to the person they are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. Whoa. Okay, so you have romance and patience. And I feel like you have, just based on these cards, very strong feelings for this person. But then you have this patience card, which almost feels like you don't feel as if you can fully show those feelings or express them or experience the depth of them for some reason. Like you're having to wait on this person in some way. And I feel like that has made it, obviously pretty difficult for you. This person's energy toward you, Aquarius. It's like you've been very patient and understanding with them in some way. Grief and sadness. So this is their energy toward the connection with shattered. Oh my goodness. Okay. So this person is obviously going through a lot when it comes to this connection. I feel like they actually view themselves as someone who is very broken almost. Right out of the gate, it feels like this person doesn't feel like they are good enough for you in some way. Almost like they're too broken, they're too hurt, they're too lost. And I think that has kept them in this energy of really holding back from you. And maybe that's what you're waiting on is, trying to help them see that despite the ways that they don't love themselves, that you do still love and care about them. Truth of this connection between Aquarius and this person. Growth. Triggered. So it feels like this connection has a lot of potential to bloom into something really beautiful and really wonderful. However, it feels like certain things keep holding it back from being able to bloom. And it comes down to the ways in which I feel like this person is being triggered. Maybe even you too, in some way. Triggers and fears and anxieties and past traumas. Like there's a lot that's in the way. A lot of things that are blocking this connection from being able to fully bloom here. Because like I look at this, right? You have this grief and sadness, and it's just, you know, this flower, this rose that looks like it's dying, but then, and obviously it's a different plant, but then you have this beautiful, healthy, vibrant, glowing plant here. And I feel like it's almost like this is where that potential lies, but it's like there's a lot of this blocking it, this kind of energy. So I don't necessarily know how, like, I just feel like there's a lot to break down here. Well, that's a really crooked table. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I keep knocking everything off today. All right, overall theme of this reading for Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to know about this connection in order to move forward? In alignment with their higher self. Lies and partial truths. So there's a lack of clarity when it comes to communication in this connection for sure. Unlocked potentials. I mean, there's that potential that exists that we see. The potential it has to bloom into. What is this lies and partial truths thing? And then the feelings are mutual. So the feelings are mutual here. But I don't feel like you would know that based on how this person is behaving. Because again, you're in this position of waiting on them in some way, waiting on them maybe to heal, to grow, to evolve, to show up, to make a decision. I don't know, but you're in this position of waiting. And then you have this lies and partial truths card. So I don't know if this person isn't being fully honest or what's going on here. Or maybe you're not being fully honest about your feelings. But also, you know, probably because you don't feel safe to be fully honest with your feelings in some way. So let's break it down even more. This is Aquarius' side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. I can't seem to get this table the way that I like it. I think my camera might be crooked. All right. Aquarius' side of this connection, please. So no, don't take that. Okay. Six of Pentacles in reverse. The World. The Magician. Two of Pentacles in reverse. Seven of Swords. Okay. And the Moon. Okay. With the Six of Pentacles in reverse, it's definitely an indication that you are investing a lot more into this connection than you are receiving. Now, there are times in relationships where we are going to be giving more than we receive. Like it's going to happen. There's times where, you know, our partner might need more support. There's times where, you know, there are things that we're going through. But this seems like this is a consistent cycle with the world, where you are constantly in a position here with this person where you are giving way more than what it is that you receive. Now, I feel like there is an overwhelming amount of love that you have for this person that causes you to prioritize like their needs and their happiness and what it is that, like, what kind of support that they need and what kind of, like, how can you be there for them and how can you make sure that they're happy and how can you make sure that they feel good. But it's almost like you're hiding a deeper truth that is actually existing within you that maybe even you aren't wanting to be fully honest with, which honestly makes sense. And I feel like that deeper truth is that you want more out of this. And a lot of what you're giving to this connection is out of hopes that you get more out of this connection eventually. And, that's not a bad thing necessarily. I think that we show up with the kind of love that we do wish to receive. However, I do feel like there is a lot of fear when it comes to losing this person or not having this person in your life. And I feel like your priority here has been how to avoid that, like how to avoid losing this person, how to avoid, this connection falling apart or not working out, even though it's hurting you. And I feel like that's the thing that you're hiding. It's almost like you've really put like your needs and your desires in this connection on the back burner to prioritize this person and what they need and what they desire in a relationship or from you, even though you're not getting what you need. So I do feel like there might be a little bit of self-abandonment happening, which it happens. When we love other people, we have this tendency to pour into them, and pouring into the people that we love is not an issue. But we have to also make sure that we are watering ourselves, because otherwise, we're going to get to a point where we are pouring from an empty cup. So I think that there's a lot to, talk about surrounding lack of reciprocation in relationships, and there's always reasons, right? Well, this person's going through a hard time, or, they've been through a lot in their life, or whatever the case might be, and I feel like you might have like a lot of empathy for them, because again, there is a lot of love here, but I also feel at the same time that it's important to make sure that you are taking your feelings into account here too, because that self-abandonment can lead to some difficult things down the road. But let's see what this person, so why aren't they reciprocating, right? Why aren't they reciprocating? Why aren't they showing up like you need, like you deserve? Why are they pulling away? Because it feels like their energy is very withdrawn from this. Essentially, more withdrawn than yours is. It's not that they're entirely withdrawn necessarily, like their energy is obviously still present in yours. But let's see. This person's energy toward you, Aquarius. Grief and sadness was shattered. Five of Pentacles. Temperance in reverse. So they do feel a loss when it comes to this connection. Here's the Magician. It's like with this Temperance in reverse, there's this frustration with themselves almost. Frustration with themselves. But it's, okay, hang on. That's confusing. The Knight of Swords. The Page of Pentacles in reverse. This person doesn't have a good view of themselves, but I don't know if you would know it. the Five of Swords. Okay. And then there's the Seven of Swords again. This person doesn't like themselves very much. And not in a way that's obvious. You know, somebody can like who their ego presents them to be, but not really like who they are below the surface. I feel like this person really struggles with feeling not good enough. It's like, and I do think that they've been through a lot. I feel like they've been through a lot in their life, and they almost see themselves as like broken or inadequate because of it. And I will say this can happen a lot when we lack healing. We can look at our trauma as a flaw, or the things that we've been through as something that's wrong with us. And I think that that's something that this person really holds. It's like they've been through a lot in their life, and they see themselves as inadequate, especially with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. It's almost like not capable of being what you need, like not being like ready for the opportunity that this connection presents them. So there's a lot of pushing it away. I mean, you see that with the Knight of Swords. You see that with the Five of Swords. They're very defensive. They have this wall up. They push you away in a lot of different ways. And I feel like it's because deep down, they're really struggling, but yet they're frustrated with this behavior, because I feel like with the Magician, same as your Magician, they have like a similar desire in this connection. When it comes to this connection coming together in a healthy way, I feel like they also see that potential. You have the feelings are mutual, yet it feels like they're still pushing it away. Now, at the same time, I also feel like this Five of Swords can sometimes translate to like a victim mentality, where doing something like self-sabotaging something or pushing away good things, but then feeling bad about them, like feeling bad for themselves, even though it's a product of their behavior. Now, a lot of times this can come from kind of like cognitive dissonance, almost like a disconnect from like self-awareness and your ability to take accountability for your actions, or even see how your actions affect other people or affect even yourself. And I feel like this person, it's like they've spent a lot of their life running from the things that they've been through. And when they're in situations where they start to experience good things happening to them, you know, experiencing the love that they want or deserve, or good, you know, energy in their life, I feel like their immediate like response to that is, I'm not deserving of this. I'm not good enough for this. This is going to end in pain. This is going to end in regret. So therefore, I might as well just not deal with it. Let's just push it away. Let's just not deal with it. Let's just not go down that path at all. And that's where I feel like you are trying to be patient and understanding with them. Maybe you understand why they're pushing you away, or maybe you see and feel like, I know this person has feelings for me. I feel it on a soul level, like I feel it on an intuitive level, you know, things of that nature. And maybe there's a lot of really pouring into them to try to help them, to try to be there for them, to try to heal them in some sense. And I think a lot of that comes from the empathy that you have in them. But I also feel that there is a bit of a mirror here. I feel like the ways in which this person doesn't love themselves it's almost like you see a reflection in them of you. Duh, that's what a mirror is. But what am I trying to say? You see the way that this person doesn't feel worthy, doesn't feel deserving, the ways that they don't love themselves. And you say, but I love you anyway. I care about you anyway. I see your flaws. I see, you know, who you really are, and I'm still here for you. I still love you. I still want to be there for you. And I feel like a lot of the ways in which this person feels unlovable is a lot of ways in which you feel unlovable too. It's almost like you see part of your hurt, part of your past, part of your feelings of brokenness in them. And I feel like that really pulls you to them and even gives you more empathy for them, because you're able to kind of be like, oh, well, I get it. Like, we've been through certain things, or I can see how these things have affected you because I've been through similar things. And I think that empathy is getting you a little bit in trouble, not because empathy is a bad thing, but sometimes it can turn into toxic empathy, when we start to have more empathy for other people, that we stop or we under empathize with ourselves and our experience, and other people's feelings and needs and desires become more important than our own. And I feel like that has been what has happened in this connection. And I don't blame you. I think that happens when we have really strong feelings for someone. I think that love, a lot of times in society, equates to self-abandonment. But anytime we self-abandon in love, there's always a deeper issue, and there's always something that's actually keeping us from the love that we deserve. And I feel like this connection is really reflecting a lot of that back at you, because I do feel like there's, one of the things that I've really learned is that we cannot fix, save, change, or heal another person. We can't do it. I wish we could, right? Make life a lot easier, but we can't do it. When we're trying to heal, fix, or save somebody else, when we're trying to be what somebody else needs while abandoning ourselves, there's usually some sort of healing that we're avoiding within ourselves, or some things that maybe we, it's like we're trying to fix, save, and heal ourselves through that person, because we're like, well, I see that you're lovable despite these things that are wrong with you, and now I need you to see me as lovable despite these things that I see are wrong with me. And I think that a lot of times we then start to believe that if we can make somebody love us in the way that we deserve, that will make us finally feel healed and loved in the way that we've always been looking for. And it's a natural, I think, way of thinking. But I think it can also get us into a lot of trouble, because the potential that we see in another person and in a connection is merely the reflection of the potential that we see that exists within ourselves. And I think that we have to learn to understand that some people have to take accountability for their own healing. Like, we can't, all people, if anybody wants to heal and be able to experience the love that they deserve, like, they're going to have to take accountability for their own healing. And it feels like there's a lack of healing, and kind of just, it's a lot of, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to elaborate on it. It's a lot of feeling sorry for themselves. Now, maybe they've been through a lot and they have a lot of reasons too, but there's also a need, at some point in your life, you have to recognize that your trauma is not your fault, but it is your responsibility to heal, because the ways that you've been hurt is not an excuse to hurt other people. It's not a pass to continue to allow your patterns to affect other people. Now, I feel like that's what this person is struggling with, right? They see certain things within themselves that they don't love, or that they struggle to see as lovable or worthy or deserving. And instead of figuring out how they can learn to see themselves as more lovable, worthy, and deserving, they're not allowing themselves to experience anything good. They're pushing away all things that make them feel good about themselves. And that's hard. That's a really, really tough place to be in. But I also feel at the same time that there might be a need to help yourself a little bit here too, to make sure that you are, protecting yourself, protecting your heart, because yes, there might be potential here, but there's only so much that's in your control, right? So we're going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to look deeper into this, looking at the deeper purpose and the best way for you to move forward in alignment with your higher self. You have growth and triggered. Any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, as always, Aquarius, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aquarius.